Welcome to Wanneroo Raceway, the home of the Perth Motorsports Tyres FSR Series. Come with us as we talk to Stuart Burns and find out more about the Formula 1000s. Well, we're here in the privateer garage of Stuart Burns, runner-up for the Perth Motorsport Tyres F1000 Championship, about to become the newly minted FSR or Formula and Sports Racer Championship in the coming years. Stuart, F1000s or Formula 1000s if you want to take the longhand terminology. Tell me a little bit about these. These are a space frame chassis usually made out of chromoly with a bit of fiberglass and some splashes of carbon fiber. What is lying under this skin?
Well, basically, as you say, it's a steel space frame chassis with fiberglass bodywork, fiberglass wings and front and rear wings, fiberglass floor pan, although you can use other composites or aluminium if that's what you prefer.
Now these are a fantastic way to get into the wings and slicks category of racing that we normally see on the big screen, isn't it?
Yes, it's meant to be a relatively entry-level or club-level motorsport. So we try and cap most of the costs so that it's not about who has the biggest wallet, it is more about fun and going racing. Talking
about capping costs, what's this thing powered by?
This particular one is powered by a Suzuki GSXR 1000, 2008 model. You can run any of the big four, so Suzuki, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda, inline 1000cc engines.
These are an incredible machine because I mean you can screw just about 200 horsepower out of one of those period inline four-cylinder superbike motors. Tell me weight, because it's all about power to weight with these.
Yes, and that's what makes them so quick. We don't have a lot of horsepower, only about 200 horsepower, but it's mainly the weight. So a car as raced, as it comes off the racetrack with driver and everything still aboard, is minimum weight of 485 kilos.
Running wings and slicks around Wanneroo Raceway is something we don't normally get to see. What does an F1000 do around this track?
F1000s are currently running around a 53-second mark, which means they are really quick and mainly due to the light weight and corner speeds.
What sort of tyre packages can we throw at these? And remembering, we're trying to keep costs under control. This is club level racing.
Yes, so these are controlled tyres. They're controlled hand hooks. We have limited the competitors to 3 slick tyre sets per championship or 3 per year, and obviously unlimited wets depending on condition.
We know that we had some wet conditions throughout the course of the 2020 season. What are these like to drive in the wet conditions?
In the wet, they are surprisingly grippy. Like you'd think it'd be really slippery, but the Hankook wet weather tyres give you supreme grip.
We've spoken about the engine, let's talk about the brains behind it all. Is there a control ECU or any kind of gear shifting mechanisms that have to be to a certain spec?
No, mainly the ECU is a standard ECU that came with that engine, and you have to run the standard ECU that comes with the engine that you're running. Again, mainly to keep costs down, so you don't buy aftermarket and expensive equipment. Shifting, on the other hand, is completely open as long as it's manually activated, so no automatic stuff. But you can run air shifters or pneumatic shifters, or even some people run a normal lever.
It's a great thing because sports bikes, they've always been coupled with quick shifters, cutting ignition and making for those seamless, lightning quick shifts. This must be an absolutely incredible machine to actually drive in anger. Tell me a little bit about some of the development that goes into the aerodynamics package here, because we're looking at essentially a shrunk down, very basic Formula 1 style wing coupled with a twin plane rear end.
Yes, so the rules are very open about what you can do with terms of aerodynamics. There is some restrictions like the maximum width of the front wing, the maximum width of the rear wing, and where the diffuser starts and stops. So you can play with whatever you'd like, and that also helps with hobbyists and amateurs to try and develop what they would like and what they think helps their car.
These are a fantastic racing machine and open, like you say, to hobbyists and club level drivers alike, but also some of the incredibly professional drivers coming out of the Arise Racing shed. What is it that helps someone like you and your team and your old man and your people that you have around you get the edge over some of those perhaps better funded drivers?
I guess it's just knowing what the car is doing. Having an intimate knowledge of how the car is manufactured and how it works means that you can drive around problems, or if you have an issue, you know exactly what it is, so you can fix it instantly. Other than that, it's also just practice and experience and trying to get out on the track as often as possible.
Tell me a little bit about what it's like once you come off track from one of these. You've been wheel to wheel with perhaps 8 to 10 other F1000s mixed in with some radicals as well as some of the Formula races. It must make for some incredible action.
Oh yes, and having a mixed category is actually really fun because you have different strengths in different parts of the track. So you'll think you're slower in a certain corner or faster in another corner, and you've got to play that to your advantage while you're also racing around. So it's a game of high-speed chess.
What do the crowd think of these things?
Oh, everybody loves them. Having the screaming engine up to about 13,000 RPM is very reminiscent of an old F1 car. And again, they look like a basic F1 car. So when you get a pack of these cars racing together, the noise is just incredible.
These F1000s are an incredible machine, and surely there's places you can go after you've served your time in the cockpit of one of these.
Yes, so upgrading from a Formula 1000, you could stay in Australia and do the S5000 Championship. You could also go international through Asia. There's many Formula categories like Formula BMW. You can step into the Asian Le Mans series where they run LMP cars, which have the same kind of paddle shifts and data analysis. Or over to Europe where you can run Formula 4, Formula Renault, etc.
What are the average costs involved in starting up your own Formula 1000 car with the tools and everything that's involved? What's the cost of admission?
So a basic Formula 1000 can go anywhere from $30,000 up to 50, 60, or obviously more, depending on if you buy brand new or second hand, and what other fruit comes with it.
And as far as costs per round to run one of these, taking into account fuel, tyres, anything special like that?
Yeah, so we're trying to keep the cost down, so as we said before. So it's roughly around $1,500 a round, to including entries and memberships and fuel to get onto the track.
I think to be able to run sub 55-second lap times here around Wanneroo Raceway, that's pretty awesome pricing, and you are one of the Wings and Slicks Brigade after that. You are some of the best action out there on track. It's absolutely incredible to have the Formula 1000s running not only with the radicals but also the Formula races as well right here at Wanneroo Raceway. Definitely something worth getting involved in.